The Maximum Happiness and Wellbeing course, Part 2, Session 18, The Power of Goals. Harness the combined powers to focus on what you want to be, have and do in your life with the incredible power of goal setting. Release your fears and set goals to turn your dreams of happiness into reality. The session starts with a quote from Zig Ziglar, a celebrated self-help author from the 1970s and 80s, who said, "A man or woman without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. Each will drift and not drive. Each will end up on the beaches of despair, defeat and despondency," which emphasises the need to set goals. The power of goals. Now is the time to take the rudder of that ship of yours, bringing all you've read and heard in the sessions up to this point together. You'll be better equipped to set the goals to deliver the happier life and future that you deserve. So many of us unnecessarily deny ourselves the happiness that's our birthright. Everyone has a unique ability to bring something different to the world, something valuable to offer. You are the architect of your destiny, the driver on your own journey. So turn on the ignition and let's get started. Back to basics. What are goals and why have them? A goal is a target to aim for, something that, when achieved, you hope will enhance your life somehow. It's a statement of positive intent, something you're committed to and working towards by taking daily action. Can you imagine a football match with no goalposts, nets, or a race with no finish line? Simplistic perhaps, but it just wouldn't work, would it? Without the goals or finish line, the match or race whole purpose is lost. Without goals, your life lacks purposeful direction, or at least it's extremely diluted. Let's look at the types of goals. So we've established what goals are and why it's important to have them. It's also important to have different types of goals. Why? Quite simply, we have different areas of our lives to balance, and some journeys take longer than others. Goals can be separated into go-up goals, give-up goals, and deficiency goals. So let's look at the go-up goals. These are primarily growth goals that you wish to attain. A new job, a promotion, personal development, studying new subjects, or becoming an author. They are goals that, when achieved, will move you upwards in your life, towards being the person you wish to become, doing the things you want to do, and having what you desire. In an ideal world, everyone you know would support you in these goals, but it's a sad fact that your friends and family may try to prevent you from attaining your goals, sometimes knowingly. People who know you may either not want to see you fail or get hurt, stating things like, "Don't bother trying, then you won't have to deal with failing," or "Are you sure?" Indeed, some may deliberately or secretly wish to sabotage your efforts because they have a vested personal interest in keeping you where you are now. They could become jealous of you achieving what you set out to do, or perhaps couldn't cope with the dynamics of a friendship where you have clear boundaries and don't allow them to influence what you do anymore. Some will be happier with your less accomplished self because they feel threatened or insecure by your newfound success and achievement. Be extremely selective about who you share your go-up goals with. Share them with people who genuinely have your best interests at heart. Let's look at give-up goals. Give-up goals encompass such things as becoming a non-smoker, losing weight, reducing alcohol intake, excessive spending, victim or caretaker type behaviours, ridding yourself of destructive habits. It's a good idea to share give-up goals with a friend who shares the goal so you can encourage each other. If you want to give up smoking, the more people you know, the more likely it is that someone will be around to keep you to your goal plan when you get the urge to light up. Deficiency goals then. Deficiency goals are the ones that only become goals when something is taken away from you, or when you realise that not having this has a detrimental effect on your life and happiness. For example, your health. Many people take their health for granted. eating and drinking exactly what they want, not taking supplements, not exercising, and not getting regular medical checkups. The attitude is, I'll start my fitness campaign tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. But one day the heart attack comes, and assuming they survive, health becomes their number one priority. It never got a look in before. Be specific. From the outset, you must be specific and detailed as possible regarding your wants. With a definite specific goal, you can more accurately visualize exactly what will make you happy and more likely to attract it into your life with the appropriate action. As the quote at the beginning of this session states, without goals you drift through life, effectively giving up control and therefore allowing other people or outside events to shape your destiny. This can in turn lead to frustration, anger, stress and even depression. Would you rather create your own destiny or be a part of someone else's? The best way to split goals is short term, 1 to 3 months, medium term, 3 months to a year, and long term, 1 to 3 years. It's crucial to understand that the time frames for your goals are not rigid. Whilst it's recommended splitting them into short, medium and long term, this structure is not set in stone. It's designed to provide just a framework. You have the freedom to adjust it to your needs and circumstances, making the process less daunting and more manageable. Think about your long-term vision for your future, because one day you'll arrive there. Unless you're working on shaping your future now, those goals and dreams will always remain out in the distance. These goals must be chunked down into time frames starting today. Working backwards from your 3-year target, establish what needs to be done in year 3, then year 2, and then this year. And from your list of what needs to be achieved this year, break it down in what needs to be done in the 4th quarter, the 3rd quarter, the 2nd quarter, and within the next 3 months. The importance of values-based goals. Now, whilst we discussed values in the session on values at session 7 within the course, this is something that is so important it's worth repeating here. No goal achieved will give you true, lasting fulfillment unless it's congruent with your values. You must establish your hierarchy of values before setting goals in your life's relevant areas. Establishing core values is your first step before any goal setting. You must intensely desire that which you seek, love, whatever it might be, because you will automatically attract to you what it is that you love. It's impossible to crave something incompatible with your fundamental values in life, as you cannot love what you do not value. It's worth revisiting session 7 of the course, the elicitation of core values, in order to repeat this exercise, but we will summarise it again now. Think of a salesperson who lists family at the top of their values and health second. They aim to be the top salesman in their field, earning £200,000 per year. To achieve that goal, they have to travel 10 months of the year, work 14-hour days, eat fast food for lunch, and have business dinners with clients in the evening. At home, they play golf with the managing director, and the rest of the time they sleep or watch TV. Can you see the conflict that exists here? Stephen Covey's quote of climbing to the top of the ladder of success, then realising it's leaning against the wrong wall, comes to mind. How can a person list family at the top of their values and then spend their life involved in an occupation that steers them away from their family, so they have less and less time with them? Now let's go back to session 7, which helps you identify your core values. If you haven't completed the exercise to establish your core values, do so now. So, why do values matter so much when setting goals? Many people set new goals each year for themselves, but how can you ensure that you stick to your goals and achieve the desired lifestyle and outcomes? The best place to start is by aligning your goals with what you are passionate about, things that mean something to you. These are your values. Values-based living means choosing goals, actions and habits that align with who you are and what you believe in and what matters most to you. Have you ever started a new habit or set a new goal in January only to find you've already stopped working towards it by mid-February? It can be hard to consistently work towards a goal if you aren't motivated to keep going. This is where values-based goal setting comes in. Value-based goal setting is when you set your goals based on the values that inform your life. Even if you aren't aware of it, your values shape your daily habits, actions and lifestyle. When you select goals for yourself that align with your values, you will be more intrinsically motivated to work to achieve them. So where do you begin? The first step is to define those values. Then ensure that your goals connect to those values so they are meaningful to you. You may set yourself the goal of owning the latest model Mercedes. The Mercedes isn't necessary. What's important is how you'd feel if you realised your goal to own one. If you desire a car representing success, the value here is success, not the object of the success of the Mercedes. A significant reason why goals fail is the misalignment that occurs when choosing a want without first eliciting the value of it to them, i.e. how owning the thing will make them feel. The importance of value-based goals. Determine your values. When setting goals, being conscious of your core values helps you align your goals with what matters to you. When you align with your values, you'll be more motivated to achieve your goals. So where do you begin? To get a sense of your core values, it helps to review the list of examples contained in the course notes in this section. You'll see a list, an extensive list of values from which you can select values that resonate most strongly with you. During this process, focus on what truly matters to you. Avoid making choices you think others would approve of or expect you to hold. These are your goals relating to your values. Remember, any goal-setting program not based on your core values is flawed. If you ask someone what they want most from life, they might say something like, and we've said this example before, a £500,000 house, or a top-of-the-range Mercedes, or a kind, understanding, sensitive, compassionate and considerate partner. These are wants, they're not values. In these examples, it's important to ask, if you got the house, Mercedes or ideal partner, what would you gain and how would that make you feel? How you feel creates the value that we're searching for here. The answers might sound like this. With £500,000 house, I would gain respect from my friends and I'd feel proud. Respect and pride are the values that underpin the goal here. For the second example, if you got the Mercedes, how would it make you feel? The answer might be, I'd be seen as successful and it would make me feel accomplished. So you can see here the values identified are success and accomplishment. And in the final example, suppose you got your ideal partner, what would you gain and how would it make you feel? The answer might be, I'd feel loved and understood for who I am. The values identified here are love and understanding, not the acquisition of an ideal partner. It's invaluable and essential to elicit your core values before putting your heart and soul behind the goals that you want. This is why some outwardly successful people remain discontented. With all the trappings of wealth, success and happiness, it's only when they've identified their core values that they realise that the goals they set for themselves to accomplish would never satisfy them because they weren't aligned with their core values. If you haven't already completed the exercise in session 7, eliciting core values, please do so now. We'll repeat the process here briefly, but you need to refer to the course notes in order to see the questions and the process that's outlined for you. So eliciting your core values from the list that's provided to prompt you, write down the values that you know are important to you, the ones that resonate with you. If you don't know them, choose from the list provided in the course notes. And step 1 is to select 10 values that are most important to you in life, the ones that resonate to you, the ones that mean something to you. Step 2 is to compare the values against each other in order to prioritise them in order of importance. So what you end up with is a list of your values prioritised by the ones that are really important to you. Step 3 is to elicit your core values in your life's roles and key areas. Identifying the important key values will reduce your goal setting failures and increase the satisfaction of achieving goals based on values that matter most to you. So, step 1 then. From the suggested list of values provided in the course notes, circle 10 values that are most important to you and that matter most to you. Look for the 10 that have the most significant overall impact on your happiness and satisfaction in life. Think to yourself, if I had these, how much happier would I be? Or, if I didn't have these, how much unhappier would I be? Either way will help you to arrive at the 10 core values that mean something to you. As you peruse the list, think of how the value makes you feel and the joy you experience when living by that value. Values have been inserted in the table in the course notes by way of example. The list that's provided isn't exhaustive and it should only serve as a prompt for you. If you know with some certainty some or all of your core values that don't appear on the list, enter them in the table and feel free to add any that are not on the list. You may have to do this on a separate sheet of paper if you're looking at the electronic version of this course. Step 2, having selected your core values, your 10 core values that resonate from the list, compare each one against the other 9, circling the one that's most important to you. Do this for each numbered value till you've made 10 circled choices. For each value, the top line refers to the choice of the value that's most important. When you count up the circled choices, this gives you the priority list of your core values, so you end up with a hierarchy of values. You now have your prioritised hierarchy of values to enter on the page or on a separate page. If you've completed this exercise as per the course notes, this will have produced a hierarchy of core values for you. In order of importance, you now know the values that mean most to you. When you feel out of sorts, it's probably because one or more of your core values isn't being honoured. When we honour our personal core values consistently, we experience a sense of fulfilment. When our core values are not honoured, we're incongruent and more likely to escape into bad habits and regress into avoidance and deflecting behaviours to uplift ourselves. The path to an authentic life lies in actions that honour our core values. An important part of the goal setting process is to define your definite major purpose in life. What is the main thing that you want to achieve in life? And a question that prompts this point is to ask, what one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew that you absolutely could not fail? So let's look at the process of your definite major purpose. Having a definite major purpose is the point of all achievement. Your primary purpose can be defined as the most important goal that you have, the one goal that will help you achieve more of your other goals, and it must have the following characteristics. It must be something that you want. Your desire for this goal must be so intense that the very idea of achieving your primary purpose excites you and makes you happy. It must be clear and specific. You must be able to define it in words. You must be able to write it down clearly so a child could read it and know precisely what it is that you want. It must be measurable and quantifiable. Rather than I want to make lots of money, it must be more like I want to earn £100,000 per year. You need to be measurable, quantifiable and specific. It must be both believable and achievable. Your major definite purpose cannot be so big or so ridiculous that it's completely unattainable. Your major definite purpose should have a reasonable probability of success. perhaps 50-50 when you begin. If you've never achieved a major goal before, set a goal that has an 80 or 90% probability of success. Make it easy on yourself, at least at the beginning. Later on you can set huge goals with less probability of success, and you'll still be motivated to take the steps necessary to achieve them. Your major definite purpose must be in tune with your other goals. You cannot want to be financially successful in your career on one hand and play golf most of the time on the other. Your major definite purpose must be in harmony with your minor goals and congruent with your values. So we'll ask that question again. What one great thing would you dare to dream if you knew you absolutely could not fail? Make a list of the 10 goals you would like to achieve in the months and the years ahead, in the present tense. Select the one goal from that list that would have the most significant positive impact on your life. Determine how you'll measure progress and success in achieving the goal. Write it down. List everything you can do to move yourself towards your goal. Take action on at least one thing immediately. Determine the price that you'll have to pay, in addition to the work, time and commitment to achieve your goal, and then get busy paying that price. How to find your purpose. Something motivates you to get up each day. That something says a good deal about your current central purpose in life. If you eventually get out of bed because you don't want to be sacked from your job, then your purpose has to do with money and security. If you get up because of what people might think if you didn't, then you're motivated by a fear of disapproval. Here are some questions to help you determine your definite major purpose. Pursuing your definite primary purpose is exciting and fulfilling. After identifying your talents, your abilities, skills and gifts, you must ask yourself, how can I use these gifts to serve others? The following pages contain 31 searching questions to help you find your purpose, and they're split into investigative, who are you? Commitment, how committed are you? Some additional investigative questions about who you are. Passion, what gets your juices flowing? Integrity, who do you really serve? Your life is already an expression of your purpose, whether this purpose operates consciously or subconsciously. If you are driven by a purpose you're not conscious of, it's likely to have roots in fear. Motivation of this kind is usually conditioned into us, whether we like it or not. Some people don't believe in purpose. Just get on with life and take things as they come are common phrases, yet they describe purpose masquerading as a lack of purpose. The unspoken purpose here is continued physical survival. Basic survival and social conformity are common motivations, but why limit yourself to mundane scenarios when you can reach for the stars? Don't wait for permission. You don't need permission to decide your own purpose. No boss, teacher, parent, priest or other authority can do this for you. Purpose has nothing to do with sacrifice, getting approval, being selfless or conforming to somebody else's idea of the correct way to live. It doesn't mean giving up something you like or something more worthy. Your purpose is derived from what you value most. Therefore, it pays to resolve conflicting values so that you don't become a slave to someone else's purpose. Purpose is not achievement. Achievement can mean being successful at a job you don't want, enabling you to afford an expensive car you don't need, to impress a girlfriend you don't even like. You express a purpose continually to bring you pleasure, not a list of things that you must achieve. A basic technique. This technique allows you to identify your purpose by bypassing the conditioned thoughts associated with permission and disapproval. 1. Identify what you like about yourself. 2. Identify how you most like spending your time. 3. Imagine your idea of a perfect world. Your purpose is what links these three things together. In other words, it's how you can use your favourite characteristics, abilities and attributes in activities you like best to manifest your vision of a perfect world. Your purpose was already created for you. Our job is to uncover our unique talents, skills and abilities and use them to serve others. What follows are some strategies to help you to uncover your uniqueness. Choosing to use these gifts to serve others will be entirely up to you. Start by doing the following. 1. Eliminate all distractions. Turn off any telephone or music. 2. Imagine you just woke up from a coma and you don't remember your friends, enemies, family, societal norms and or expectations, and you only remember what you're good at and what you love to do. 3. Pretend you only have 1 year to live in perfect health and your bills and other financial responsibilities are of no concern to you. 4. Suspend all judgment as you answer each question. Respond with your heart, not with your head. And 5. Be honest with yourself as you answer each question. Set aside time, however long it takes, to write down your responses. Don't erase them, and good luck. What follows then are the 31 questions to help you find your purpose, your major purpose in life. It may be wise to press pause after each question so that you can consider the answer that you want to give and write it down somewhere. So, investigative questions. Who are you? 1. If you had the time, what would you most want to study, practice, master, or research deeply? What would you want to be an expert in? 2. What activities do you engage in or talk about, and do you lose track of all sense of time? 3. What skills or abilities have brought you the most compliments? 4. If money were no object, what would you be willing to do for free? 5. What personal talents, skills and abilities do you have the most confidence in? 6. What one thing would you dare to attempt if you knew you could not fail? That question will sound familiar. 7. If you only had 6 months to live in perfect health, other than family and spiritual activities, what activities or tasks would you engage in? 8. Describe the perfect job, not life, regarding duties, activities and responsibilities. 9. What professional activities give you the greatest pleasure, make you the happiest, give you the most fulfillment, the greatest peace of mind and the most satisfaction? And 10. From your previous responses, what activities or skills tend to repeat themselves? List them and use them while answering the questions that follow between 11 and 15. The commitment questions. How committed are you? Question 11. How are you willing to dedicate your life to this? i.e., is the reward worth the risk? 12. Are you willing to pay the price for it? What sacrifices you must make? Are you prepared to face your fears, break bad habits, make necessary changes, make tough decisions, handle setbacks in order to achieve the purpose that you're aiming for? 13. Have you ever envisaged yourself doing this? Can you feel it, see it, describe it in great detail and almost touch it? 14. If you won the lottery tomorrow, would you still pursue this passion? Would you still pursue this purpose? 15. Is this something you feel you must do? Does it feel right? If you're unsure about your calling, proceed to questions 16 and 17. If you're certain about your calling, proceed to questions 28 and 31. Still uncertain? See if these questions can help. Again, write down your responses. The purpose of life is to have life with a purpose. Additional investigative questions. Question 16. If God were to tell you right now that it would be possible for you to accomplish one great thing while you're here on earth, what would you want it to be? What would you want to be? 17. What are you confident in doing now that you knew nothing about a few years ago? 18. What are your greatest opportunities in the following areas? Your family, your job, your church, your community. 19. What crazy ideas about your future have you dismissed recently, and why? 20. What talents and or abilities seem to be flowing naturally out of you? And 21. In what areas do you normally produce your best results? The following questions are about your passion, about what get your juices flowing. Question 22. What do you think about when you lie awake at night? 23. What kind of issues, needs, opportunities, activities and ideas motivate you and give you energy? 24. What things or issues deeply concern you? 25. What dreams or visions are almost impossible to put out of your head? 26. To what can you give 100% of yourself for your whole life? And 27. From the previous responses that you've given, what activities, skills and ideas tend to be repeating themselves? List them here. Integrity questions. These questions ask who you really serve. Your purpose is only as pure as your motives. Your gifts can either be used positively or negatively. Before you begin your pursuit of purpose, ask and answer the following questions. Press pause after each question if you need to and write down the answer. Question 28. Why do I really want to do this? The purpose that you're aiming for, that is. 29. Am I doing this for my own selfish desires? 30. Would I be able to use my gifts and talents if I pursued this? And 31. Would this bring out the best in me? We'll conclude these questions with a quotation from Viktor Frankl, the Australian psychiatrist and Auschwitz Holocaust survivor, who said, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." Having answered the 31 questions and given serious thought to your definite major purpose, you may have concluded that perhaps your definite major purpose is wild or crazy. Well, before dismissing it, I'd like you to consider a quotation that was made by Steve Jobs before he passed away. This is the man, remember, who was the inventor and co-founder and chairman of Apple Computers, which have made such a dramatic difference to our lives. Steve Jobs said, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in square holes, the ones who see things differently. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They invent, they imagine, they create, they inspire. They push the human race forward. People with passion can change the world for the better. While some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do." Bear this quote in mind when you're considering your definite major purpose in life. It doesn't have to be that wild. It doesn't have to be the creation of Apple Computers. But don't dismiss it if there is a wild element to it, or what seems like a crazy element to it. Explore it, examine it, and determine whether it is something that will really deliver you happiness and contentment and passion for the future. This session on goal setting is concluded with Transformational Exercise number 14, Goal Setting with the Wheel of Life. Again, please refer to the course notes to see the diagram of a wheel of life. There is both a completed example and a blank example for your own use. Now, the wheel of life is probably the best personal inventory tool for displaying clearly and graphically the present balance of how satisfied you are with each area of your life. Applied to goals, the wheel of life is one of the most transformational tools because it displays the balance or imbalance of your present satisfaction with your goal subjects. For example, the 10 subjects of happiness that was identified in session 2 of the course are inserted on the wheel on the course note pages, as they play an essential part in our happiness. However, this is your wheel, and you should feel free to replace any or all of the elements with your own choices. You may even create a wheel of life for each happiness element separately, with sub-elements that you identify as crucial to your experience. For example, if you created a wheel for satisfying work, you might develop sub-elements like feeling fulfilled, or promotion possibility, or are my efforts appreciated. I'm sure you'll get the gist of what I'm saying here. If you refer to the wheel of life that appears in the course notes, you'll see we've inserted the 10 steps to happiness that appeared in session 2. Peace of mind, positive perspective, self-esteem and attitude, self-knowledge and awareness, health and energy, loving relationships, financial freedom, satisfying work, goals and dreams, and personal fulfillment. Remember that you can change any of these segments to one that's more applicable to your own circumstances. If you're looking at the example in the course notes, you'll see that the wheel of life contains segments for each of the elements that we've discussed, and each element contains a graduated scale with 0 at the centre and 10 at the perimeter. The object of the exercise here is to make a mark in each of the elements to indicate what level of satisfaction you're feeling for each of those areas. So, for example, if you feel peace of mind, you're feeling 6 out of 10, then you mark it 6 on the diagram, and continue to do that around the wheel until you've marked up all of the elements. So, mark your satisfaction score out of 10 for each segment with a dash. Join the dashes to see your satisfaction levels, visual balance or imbalance. For each segment then, give a score that you believe is achievable, your ideal score that would bring you ultimate satisfaction in that area. This is us making the basic rudimentary steps, or taking the rudimentary steps for goal setting in each of these key areas. Identify the gap that your actual level of satisfaction shows and your ideal score, the gap between the two. The gap is the area that you'll aim to close with your goal setting. As an example, imagine one of your element scores was 3, yet your ideal score was 9. Ask yourself what would be required to bring that 3 nearer to 9. These are the first steps of goal setting. To help you arrive at your ideal score for each of the elements that we've looked at in the Wheel of Life, it's worth asking yourself the question, for each element, if you could see your future in a crystal ball for that element, what would you want your future to look like? So for peace of mind, for example, how would you want that future to look like? What would peace of mind mean to you? What would you have to be, have and do in order to satisfy that level of ideal achievement?